Well, joining me now on the line is our US correspondent Kethevane Gorjestani. Kethevane, just give us the big picture overview if you can. It sounds like Joe Biden saying there were issues of friction, but China and the United States do intend to continue to work together.
Exactly. And that was really the goal that was set, at least on the American side, going into that meeting. There was no talk about finding agreements on everything. The goal was to restart, to reopen those lines of communication and to share the U.S.'s concerns so that there was understanding between the two countries, that they could share what they were seeing, what they felt, and so that there wouldn't be any misunderstanding. So not necessarily trying to look for agreement, but to make things clear, to lay it all out on the table. And that's exactly, according to the Americans, for now, what happened in that meeting. As you said, it was described as an open and candid conversation. And the president really doubled down on this, saying that the U.S. made it very clear that they were going to compete vigorously, but that competition did not need to veer off into a conflict, and that the idea was really for these two countries, the two superpowers of the world, to manage that competition responsibly, because that is what the world was expecting of the two of them, of China and of the United States. As you said, they discussed subjects of agreement, subjects where they could work together, like climate change, for example, like global food security, but they also spoke very openly about those concerns. And in the readout from the White House of this meeting, it was actually very detailed as to what those concerns were. The mentioning of human rights very specifically, whether it's Hong Kong, Xinjiang, Tibet, which we don't usually see in White House readouts. Also, the subject of Taiwan, a very touchy subject right now between the two countries. And, of course, things like the war in Ukraine or the threat from North Korea. But one other thing that was extremely interesting, the way the U.S. president started off these remarks, he spoke about the midterm elections here in the United States. And he said that those elections sent a message to the world. Because remember how Joe Biden has framed this relationship and the place of the United States in the world, the battle between democracies and autocracies. And this was a sign that he was sending to the Chinese also, that democracy really was victorious in these midterm elections, that the U.S. was strong, that the Democrats were strong. And that was, I think, a very important message that the Americans were sending.
Kethevane Gorjestani, thanks very much indeed.